this is Kayla here, and in this video I have decided to go over colors and the properties of colors and names you may call it. So, yes, first off, why don't we talk about primary colors? And a good fact to know about primary colors is that they cannot be made by mixing any colors. So the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Now, even though these colors cannot be made by mixing any other colors, you can make a whole bunch of other colors just with these. So, here's an example. By mixing these colors with each other, you make secondary colors. And secondary colors are just made by mixing two primary colors. So say if we mix yellow and blue, we will get a green. I think that's in the camera. I really hope it is. And if we mix yellow and red, then we get an orange. And if we mix red and blue, we get a we get a purple. Now, I always forget the names of these ones, but they're like pretty much like third-dairy colors, and you get those by mixing a secondary color with a primary color. Come here. So, yes, by mixing a purple and a red, then you would get a red and violet. And if you were to mix a violet and blue, you'd get a blue violet, blue with green, etc., etc. So yes, those are really nice. And I also think it is really good to know that colors, otherwise known as hue, spelled H-U-E, have three variables, and those variables are hue, as in the property of the color, aka the names such as red, purple, green, so on and so forth. And then there is value, and if you look in my past episode, funny, my past video, I do go over value, but just for a brief moment, the value is pretty much from dark to light, and that's value. And then there is intensity, which means, is the color bright, aka pure, or is it dull, aka mixed? So really, I don't know how to describe those anymore than just that. And then my mind went blank. I don't think that's good. And there is a moth flying around my room. And here's another thing. It's a way of coloring, and it is called monochromatic, which means like you can color a whole picture with only one color. So let's say let's just draw a little circle. I'm gonna try. There's my half-done circle. Monochromatic is pretty much you use one color, as I said, and you just color that picture, but use different values. So, and so on and so forth. And then there is complementary colors, which I think complementary colors are awesome, especially if you're trying to figure out what colors to use, especially if you know like you have one color that you really want to use, but you don't know what would go good with it. So here is, excuse me, here, oh no, my phone is dying. There we go. Here is a color wheel that I had previously made. So complementary colors are pretty much say if you really want to use red but you don't know what will go with it, then a complementary color is you would go directly across the color wheel, and that is your complementary color. So red is complementary to green, and green is complementary to red. Say the same thing with any other color, like yellow is complementary to purple, blue is complementary to orange, and so on and so forth. Just Yeah, just look directly across from the table. And we're good there. And then, oh shoot, how do you pronounce this? Angulus, whatever. Now let's use the same situation where you have red and you really want to use it, but you don't know what will go with it. Then an angulus color is pretty much where you have your red and then you go to the color right next to it on both sides. So either one of those colors would go good with it. Now a good tip is say if you do use these I don't know why I just started. Say if you do use these three colors, then just keep it in mind that if you don't know what else will go with it, don't keep going around the color wheel, then you're just gonna end up with a huge rainbow. Unless that's what you want, then go ahead and do it. I don't want to get in the way of your dreams. But yeah, that is a really good thing to keep in mind. And let me show you an example. So you have your, let's draw a flower. I think I should do that pencil. Let's draw a little flower. There's our beautiful flower. So we want the rose petals to be red. And you're doing kind of an abstract thing. Let's just say that for now. There we go. Okay, we're still filming. That's good. That's very, very good. So then you're like, but I don't want to use yellow here. What can I use? You go look at your complementary colors, and not complementary. You go look at your color wheel, and you go from red, and you can either do an angulus, where it's either one of these two colors, or you can do a complementary, which is green. So let's do a complementary, right? So we're gonna make the middle all nice and green. Yay, green! There we go. And then you don't want that to be green, so let's look at this one here. So let's look at the angulus for this one. Well, a yellow green looks nice, so let's get a yellow green. Do I even have? Yes, I do. That is very good. So there's our yellow green. Okay, there we go. So my phone decided to die, so like I'm waiting for it to recharge and shit. I'm like, oh god, please say the video saved, please say the video saved. So yeah, it finishes charging, I look, it's like, oh, thank god. Thank goodness. So yeah, there's that. What else? See, now my phone just gave me a blank mind. Oh yes, there is a thing called warm and cool colors, and really, I find these very important because depending on what colors you choose will change the mood of your drawing. So using my color wheel over here as a reference, I have it split in half. This whole side this whole side is warm colors, and a lot of the time, no matter what your drawing is, if you do choose warm colors, like I said, most of the time, this won't happen all the time, your drawing will appear more happy and excited. And if you choose this side, which is all cool colors, then your drawing will give more of a mellow feel. So yes, but a lot of the time, I think it is good to can't talk anymore. No, that's not good. I do find it really good to combine cool and warm colors in your drawing. Like, where is it? Here it is. This is a painting I have been working on for the past day, and lately I've been just trying to fix it because I decided to use watercolor pencils. I'm like, oh my god, these are awesome, but I forgot how to use them, so I picked up way too much water and worked way too fast with them. So yeah, there's a lot of bleeding and messing up, but let's just use this girl as an example. I used both warm and cool colors with her. So if you just look at her outfit, it's mainly warm colors and everything, which would give her more of a sadistic look, which is kind of what I wanted. But like once I did all this, I was like, it's kind of too bright, you know what I mean? So I decided to make her cloth in the background a blue, which kind of mellowed it out and made everything equal. So that's really good. Yes, you are seeing this. That's very good. And then this one, I kind of just wanted her to be a background, like, oh, she's there. So, yeah, I didn't really spend much time trying to draw her. And all the blue just makes her look very mellow and everything. And then her, I kind of had no goal for her. She's just like, here's a drink. And so, that is an example of how to use colors to change your moods. And yes, a lot of the time the colors can be reversed, like people can see blue as in oh, happy, exciting, and then red as in the opposite. It really just depends on your viewpoint. So enough with that, let's get rid of that. But a good thing to keep in mind is that color can affect the human brain and animal brain, but with the human brain, it has a really huge. Okay, we're starting. I have to keep looking because I don't know how much storage space I have on my phone. But yeah, it really affects us because it can affect the way that we act, our moods, our thoughts, and our health. Like pretty much if you're depressed and you're always surrounded by blue, that isn't really a good thing because blue can make you really sad. And yeah. And it can also affect our habits, which is, I heard of that. I'm like, how on earth? I still didn't even know how to explain it. So, yes. Here are some things to keep in mind. Hue means color. I really hope that helps. I cannot express how much that is important. Because I remember being in my class, like, I'll hear the teacher say, primary hue. I'm like, what on earth are you saying? And then there is monochrome, which, what did I put in it? See. I think that's how you spell it. Which is 1. So, let's just like, give it 1. And then there's values. So yes, I really do think that those are the most important things to think about. I keep burping, I'm sorry. Yeah, those are the most important things to think about whenever you are thinking about coloring. Okay, yes, we're good. And really, before you get into values with colors, I really would suggest learning how to shade with a pencil first, so you can get the feel of how it is before like you go onto a color pencil. I wish I would have thought about that before I started everything, because like